A critical summary of Book 2 of the Ramayana. Book 2 of the Ramayana begins with the council being convened to announce the coronation of Dasharatha's son Rama as the king of Ayodhya. It shows how the king of Ayodhya is proud of his four sons Rama, Lakshmana, Bharat and Shatrugna, but among his four, how Rama is known throughout the land as the most righteous, dearest and holiest. For his Rama strong and stately was his eldest and his best, void of every baser passion and with every virtue blessed. Ram has been described as soft in speech, sedate and peaceful, and the one who seeks the holy path. He is so calm in consciousness that taunt nor cavil waked his wrath. Rama is not only strong in terms of his strength, martial prowess, but also in terms of his strength of character, as base passions do not sway him from his path of duty. In the field of war excelling, boldest warrior midst the bold. In the palace chambers musing on the tales by elders told. Faithful to the wise and learned, truthful in his deed and word. Rama dearly loved his people and his people loved their Lord. Quote, his thoughts were so high that it would bless the humanity and widen human glory. When such thoughts are performed in action, the good deeds that open the gates of heaven. In the skill of arms, the father Dashrath even scarcely matched the gallant son Ram. So Ram had been more valorous even than his father. He has profound knowledge of the Vedas taught by sages. He had strong determination to do any work. He is fearless in his skill and valor, steed and elephant to tame. Dauntless leader of his forces, matchless in his warlike fame. Higher thought and nobler duty did the righteous Rama move. By his toil and by his virtue still he sought his people's love. Quote, thus, Rama has been provided with all the virtues that a noble king should possess according to the Indian socio-cultural and mythological makeup. He is not only soft in speech, but also regarded very highly for his rhetorical skills. Moreover, he is calm, peace-loving and seeks a holy path in all his ventures. He does not get angry easily, but that does not mean that he does not possess any martial prowess. He excels in war and is thought to be one of the boldest warriors and has fame in fighting wars. His physical prowess and martial acumen are as highly talked about as Hull's linguistic skills, which make him a perfect king. Along with these qualities he has a host of other characteristics such as obeying the elders and being faithful to the wise. Rama is learned and in every respect represents the spirit of the race which has been taught to him by his elders and sages. He is highly respectful of the Vedas, the storehouse of knowledge, and is graceful in all his thoughts and actions. He has the necessary pride, which is positive in its entire connotation and is apt for being the leader of forces and, therefore, loved by all citizens. With the enumeration of all these qualities, the writer makes a just introduction of Rama to make the readers realize why he is chosen by King Dasharatha as his successor. In this context, it is to be remembered that the poet has enumerated manifold virtues, which are the qualities of Lord Rama, making him an apt successor of King Dasharatha. The poet goes on to suggest the qualities one needs to be a king or ruler. A ruler does not merely rule a mass of land, but also its people, and thus needs to be a popular choice of the people for his virtues, his strengths, his spiritualism, his honesty, his courage, and so on. In other words, because of the manifold virtues of Rama, Dasharatha has chosen him to be his successor, as R.C. Dutt translates. Dasharatha marked his Rama with each kingly virtue blessed. And from lifelong royal duties now he sought repose and rest. Shall I see my son anointed, seated on Kaushala's throne? In the evening of my lifetime ere my days on earth be done. Quote, Dasharatha, thus, announces that he would love to leave his empire in the care of Rama and leave to perform high duty, which is nothing but spiritual quest, as he states. Shall I place my ancient empire in the youthful Rama's care? Seek for me a higher duty and prepare for life more fair. Single quote. This makes us aware how people in classical times in India were much concerned about the spiritual life and, therefore, after a point considered leaving the materialistic world to pursue the spiritual journey. Even a king would love to give up his empire to his successor and think about the afterlife. But while taking the decision of finding an apt successor, the king is not motivated by his whims and wishes, but seeks counseling from the wisest people. Therefore, we see that Dasharatha seeks advice from his council, his courtiers, which shows that the king not only commands because he is the most powerful, but rules because he has a set of courtiers whose wisdom helps the king take the right decisions. The king values the decisions of the courtiers in matters of the governance of the kingdom. Therefore, King Dasharatha asks his courtiers' advice in Rama's coronation as king of Ayodhya. The councillors, therefore, called courtiers, along with other monarchs and kings of distant regions are called to deliberate on the issue of Ram's coronation. Dasharatha called his council, summoned chiefs from town and plain. Welcome to from distant regions monarchs and the kings of men. Single quote. Part 2 of Book 2 is significantly titled as, The People Consulted, as it shows how the decision of the coronation of Rama is not a private affair of King Dasharatha, but a democratically made decision done by the Ayodhya's council. Dasharatha begins his speech in the council by saying, Known to all, the race of Raghu rules this empire broad and fair, and hath ever loved and cherished subjects with a father's care. In my father's footsteps treading I'll have sought the ancient path, nursed my people as my children, free from passion, pride and wrath. Underneath this white umbrella, seated on this royal throne, I'll have toiled to win their welfare and my task is almost done. Years have passed of fruitful labor, years of work by fortune blessed. And the evening of my lifetime needs, my friends, the evening's rest. Years have passed in watchful effort, law and duty to uphold. Effort needing strength and prowess and my feeble limbs are old. Quote. First Dashrath recounts his people how he has been fairly ruled and maintained his ancient empire of the race of Raghu. He took care after his people as a father should take care after the children. He has served them without passion, pride and wrath and had ever worked hard to bring progress and welfare to his people, but now he has been old and he need rest and wants to pursue the higher duty of the life to pursue spiritual life. So he wants to provide a new fair ruler, his son Ram, to them whom he claims to be more virtuous than him. Indra-like in peerless valor, Rishi-like in holy law. Rama follows Dasharatha, but in virtue stands before. Quote. Dashrath asks everyone's opinion and tells them to share their opinion without any compulsion. He asks them to express their view freely whether they agree for the coronation of Ram or not, and in reply all hailed the mandate with one accord and loud applaud. Gathered chieftains hailed the mandate with applauses long and loud, as the peafowls hailed the thunder of the dark and laden cloud. And the gathered subjects echoed loud and long the welcome sound, till the voices of the people shook the sky and solid ground. Quote. Then Dasharatha states that he can already gauge the opinions and sentiments of the people gathered in the council hall, but still he would like to know their opinions as it is true to law, and true to duty. Dasharatha states how he has been righteous, duty-bound and truthful in his thoughts and actions throughout his term as a king, and then asks whether the gathered people can perceive in Rama a similar continuation of these qualities as a king to make his race exalted. Thus, the question of the significance of race and ethnicity is brought about by the poet. The people states, For our humble woes and troubles Rama hath the ready tear. To our humble tales of suffering Rama lends his willing ear. Happy is the royal father who hath such a righteous son. For in town and mart and hamlet every heart hath Rama won. Burghers and the toiling tillers tales of Rama's kindness say. Man and infant, maid and matron, mom and he for Rama pray. To the gods and bright immortals we our inmost wishes send. May the good and godlike Rama on his father's throne ascend. Great in gifts and great in glory, Rama doth our homage own. We would see the princely Rama seated on his father's throne. Quote. As the decision of Rama's coronation is finalized, the preparation of the city of Ayodhya for the same purpose gets stated. Part 3 deals with the decoration of the city of Ayodhya for the coronation ceremony of Rama. The whole city was eagerly waiting and they made every effort to make the city as decorous as possible, as R. C. Dutt and the people of the city, maid and matron, man and boy, decorated fair Ayodhya in their wild tumultuous joy. Quote, as against the city's joy at the event of coronation of Rama as their new king, there is in the inner chamber of the palace, Manthara, the nurse and the maid to Queen Kaikeyi, making her evil plans to slowly poison the mind of the queen. It is interesting to note here that when Manthara first utters her evil plan by mentioning how bad is the future of Queen Kaikeyi, the queen is prompt to tirade Manthara to talk such evil things on such an auspicious day. Manthara tries to make Queen Kaikeyi believe that as Ram is said to be the new king, her ill luck will begin as the rival queens will triumph over her and Queen Kaikeyi will be dumped in darkness. Manthara adds, know the truth, zero witless woman. Bharat is unmatched in fame. Rama, deep and darkly jealous, dreads thy Bharat's rival claim. Quote, Manthara makes Queen Kaikeyi ponder over the fate of Bharat, who is, according to her, more competent to be the next king of Ayodhya than Rama, but it is because of jealousy of Rama that Bharat will never be able to rise and always live a life of woe. Manthara thus shows Queen Kaikeyi how both Rama and his doting younger brother Lakshmana will rule the kingdom and Queen Kausalya will be happy, whereas Queen Kaikeyi along with her son Bharat will always be bonded slave and wait for the orders of the king Rama. Manthara says that as Rama becomes the king, the status of Queen Kaikeyi will be nothing better than the status of Manthara, as she will be reduced to a slave. But listening the evil words of Manthara, Queen Kaikeyi merely reprimands her by saying, what inspires thee, wicked woman, thus to rail in bitter tone? Shall not Rama, best and eldest, fill his father's royal throne? What alarms thee, crooked woman, in the happy rites begun? Shall not Rama guard his brothers as a father guards his son? And when Rama's reign is over, shall not gods my Bharat speed? And by law and ancient custom shall not younger son succeed? In the present bliss of Rama and in Bharat's fixture hope, what offends thee, senseless woman? Wherefore dost thou idly mope? Gayer as Rama is my Bharat, ever duteous in his ways. Rama honors Queen Kausalya, I titler honor to me pays. Rama's realm is Bharat's kingdom. Ruling partners they shall prove. For himself than for his brothers Rama owns no deeper love. Queen Kaikeyi, in her answer to Manthara, justifies how Rama is a doting son and how he will protect his brothers as does a father in. Moreover, she proclaims that both Ram and Bharat will be a ruling partner. Queen's short reprimanding speech does not deter Manthara from her evil plans, as she continues with her crooked design by further emphasizing how Queen Kaikeyi's eyes are blinded by Rama and how she cannot foresee the way she is courting her own disaster, because according to the law of the land, a son succeeds a king, and according to the tradition, Rama's son will succeed him and not his brother Bharat. Brothers do not share a kingdom, nor can one by one succeed. Mighty were the civil discord if such custom were decreed. For to stop all war and tumult, thus the ancient laws ordain. Eldest son succeeds his father, younger children may not reign. Quote, thus, as Rama is put to the throne of Ayodhya, Bharat will be barred from all rights to the throne and from all joys and royal grace, leading him to be friendless, joyless, and he will have to wander in the alien lands. Manthara, thus, awakens the motherly instincts of Queen Kaikeyi as she preaches how Queen Kaikeyi is not doing enough for her own son and letting Rama be the king. She adds that being an aged woman she has seen many darksome deeds in matters of ruling kingdom and, therefore, can foresee how Bharat will be banished from Rama's kingdom. She adds that Rama only loves his brother Lakshmana and has no feelings for Bharat and Satrughna. She further appeals to Queen Kaikeyi that it is time for her to act quickly to save Bharat and Satrughna from being mined. She further adds that Queen Kaikeyi should speak about this to her husband, King Dasharatha, and banish Rama from the kingdom. Speak thy mandate to thy husband, let thy Bharat rule at home. In the deep and pathless jungle let the banished Rama roam. Manthara then tells Queen Kaikeyi how she should stop Bharat from being butchered by Rama as a lion slays a tiger, and, therefore, she should use the magic of her beauty on King Dasharatha to win the king's heart to abide by what Queen Kaikeyi desires. Thus, Manthara ends her speech by stating how she should act. And act quickly, to save her own son. Manthara's speech now starts showing its poison on Queen Kaikeyi as the queen starts pondering over Manthara's words. Queen Kaikeyi's speechlessness at this moment makes us realize that Manthara has been successful in her evil design to activate the evil mind of Queen Kaikeyi, to make her motherly fears and a woman's jealous thought be the cause of concern. Thus, slow and deadly poison is being planted by Manthara. Like a slow but deadly poison worked the ancient nurse. Tears, and a wife's undying impulse mingled with a mother's fears. Deep within Kaikeyi's bosom worked a woman's jealous thought. Speechless in her scorn and anger, Muma's dark retreat the sought. Quote. In part 5 of the book 2, The Queen, a demand, we see Queen Kaikeyi all set to make the supposed unjustified demand to King Dasharatha to banish Rama from the kingdom and make Bharat the king. As King Dasharatha came homeward with a joyous heart as all things are set to make Rama the king, the very next day he enters into darksome doom in Queen Kaikeyi's palace. As King Dasharatha is looking for Queen Kaikeyi in the palace and finds her nowhere, he inquires about her and figures out that Queen Kaikeyi has been weeping silent tears of anguish and has sought Muma's chamber. The joyous king is suddenly knocked off his feet as she meets the gloomy mourning queen. King Dasharatha is surprised at the state of Queen Kaikeyi and proclaims that he is the unmatched king of a vast empire, so the whole empire is at Queen Kaikeyi's service, and urges Kaikeyi to speak out the cause of her distress. Nations of my worldwide empire, rich in corn and sheep in kine, all shall serve my Queen Kaikeyi and their treasures all are thine. Quote. Being assured by King Dasharatha as to having all her commands gratified, Kaikeyi speaks and reminds King Dasharatha of the day when he was wounded in war and how Queen Kaikeyi with her loving tenderness cured King Dasharatha's wounds and consequently was offered by King Dasharatha 2 rewards which the queen never asked for. Queen Kaikeyi then adds that it is time for her to get those 2 rewards, and she knows that King Dasharatha will not shy away from his words. Thus, she states, by these rites ordained for Rama, such the news my menials bring. Let my Bharat, and not Rama, be anointed regent king, wearing skins and matted tresses, in the cave or hermit cell. 14 years in Dandaka's forests let the elder Rama dwell. These are Queen Kaikeyi wishes, these are boons for which I pray. I would see my son anointed, Rama banished on this day. Quote. With this wish of Queen Kaikeyi, Part 5 of Book 2 comes to an end, where the evil design of Manthara finds its execution to mar the happiness of King Dasharatha. The king laments the situation that he is being thrust into and does not know how to react to an absurd situation like this. The state of the king is portrayed by the poet in Part 6, The King's Lament, and the poet writes how sobs convulsive shook his bosom and his speech and accent failed, and a dark and death-like faintness o'er his feeble soul prevailed. King Dasharatha could not believe that Queen Kaikeyi could ask for something like this, and tries his best to make Queen Kaikeyi believe that her worst fears are never going to come true. He asks how such causeless vengeance can breed in Queen Kaikeyi's heart. He mentions how he has loved Queen Kaikeyi throughout his life and how he has doted on her. How can she wish such evil hatred for Rama so as to banish him from the kingdom, and how will Rama distinct from his father? Traitress to thy king and husband, fell destroyer of thy race, wherefore seeks thy ruthless rancor Rama rich in righteous grace? Traitress to thy kith and kindred, Rama loves thee as thy own, wherefore then with causeless vengeance as a mother hate thy son. Quote. But soon he sobers down his tone from being vehement in his anger and requests Queen Kaikeyi to have the kindness of woman for him, and requests her to ask for any other gift that she wishes to. But Queen Kaikeyi, who had already been provoked by Manthara, does not pay heed to King Dasharatha's requests and vexes him for not keeping the promises that he made. King Dasharatha tries to understand the reason of such a demand and says that behind such a beautiful face, how can there be something cruel? King Dasharatha still could not understand from where such an unrighteous wish of banishing Rama to dark and pathless wild had germinated in Queen Kaikeyi's mind. As nothing seems to move Queen Kaikeyi, King Dasharatha claims what justification he will give to the assembled monarchs, elders and others, that King Dasharatha is driven by the wishes of a female woman's mandate, that King Dasharatha does not have a mind of his own and decides things according to the whims and wishes of females. Moreover, he asks Queen Kaikeyi what answer he would give Queen Kausalya for banishing her son Rama. But even after persuasions, Queen Kaikeyi is adamant and starts blackmailing her husband by saying that the people know King Dasharatha to be a righteous, truth-abiding monarch whose words cannot be violated. But still, if he wants to disregard his promise of fulfilling two desires made to Queen Kaikeyi, then he can dare to do so. King Dasharatha finds no way but to soothe the scheming queen. Thus, part 6 comes to an end with King Dasharatha lamenting and wishing his own death as he says, "May a sinful monarch perish ere the dawning of the day, or a dark life sin polluted, beam not morning's righteous ray." Single quote. Part 7 of Book 2, the sentence begins when Rama comes to meet King Dasharatha and Queen Kaikeyi to take their obeisance and finds his father to be shorn of kingly pomp and pride. This state of King Dasharatha deeply saddens Rama as he finds his father bereft of sense. Bereft of sense appeared the monarch, crushed beneath a load of pain, heaving oft a sigh of sorrow as his heart would break in twain. Like the ocean tempest shaken, like the sun in eclipse pale, like a crushed repenting rishi when his truth and virtue fail. Quote. Being unable to fathom any rhyme or reason for such a state of King Dasharatha, Rama inquires about the state of the king to Queen Kaikeyi and like an obedient son asks if there is any misconduct on his part that has made King Dasharatha be angry and sad to such an extent. "Speak, my mother," uttered Rama, "what strange error on my part? Unremembered sin or folly fills with grief my father's heart." Next, he inquires about his brothers, Bharat and Satrughna, and wanted to know if some disaster had befallen them which has made King Dasharatha mentally tanned like this. Rama further says that he would like to do his best to undo the misfortune which is paining King Dasharatha and he is willing to do it at the cost of his own life. Rama's devotion and concern for his father and his family is overtly present in his dialogue as he makes every attempt to figure out the cause of anxiety of his father and mend them to see his father happy and proud. He, therefore, appeals to Queen Kaikeyi to speak as he is sure that she knows the truth why King Dasharatha is in such deep distress. "I would yield my life and fortune ere I wound my father's heart. Hath my unknown crime or folly caused his ancient bosom smart? Ever dear is Queen Kaikeyi to her consort and her king. Hath some angry accent escaped thee thus his royal heart to wring? Speak, my ever-loving mother, speak the truth, for thou must know what distress or deep disaster pains his heart and clouds his brow." Quote. As Rama urges Queen Kaikeyi to speak, she rants in old and cruel accent the whole story behind the two wishes that she has asked King Dasharatha to be drained and asks if Rama would abide by his father's vow. Rama assures that he will surely abide by any vow that his father, King Dasharatha, has made. Queen Kaikeyi that states her two wishes. "If thy father's royal mandate thou wouldst list and honor still, 14 years in Dandik's forest live and wander at thy will. 7 long years and 7, my Rama, thou shalt in the jungle dwell. Bark of trees shall be thy raiment and thy home the hermit's cell. Over fair Kaushala's empire let my princely Bharat reign, with his cars and steeds and tuskers, wealth and gold and armed men." Quote. Rama heard the wishes calmly and started preparing to leave his father's empire. Ram's calm reaction at such dreaded mandate shows the depth of his character that couldn't be affected at adverse situation. With this, Book 1 of the Ramayana comes to an end.